Here we go.
Because it was a shitty day. Like, my day was literally that Gordon Ramsay video. Cook the special order, you lazy cow. Hurry up. Fuck off. Like, nobody was like that, but it was that, like, high pressure crazy. Mm-hmm. It's like, you have 10 tickets, let's go! We have 4 onboardings! Fuck off! Like that.
All right, we ready?
Yep.
All right.
Look at me, bitch, with my eyes. You fucking look at you.
We can...
You good, Zach?
He ain't good.
I'm tired.
On this episode of the Culture Smash Cast,
Thor: Love and Thunder. Did it make a boom or fizzle out at the box office?
The Emmys. It's that time again. Did anybody watch this shit?
And Top Gun is top of the world!
it's the Culture Smash Cast, episode 601 for July the 13th, 2022. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of Culturesmash.tv. Nico?
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to Culturesmash.tv.
Tina?
Tina Qualls, contributor to Culturesmash.tv.
Zach?
Gordon Ramsay.
That's... You wish you were Gordon Ramsay.
I do wish I was Gordon Ramsay. At least I'd be able to cook a lot better and have the confidence to tell you to fuck off.
I kind of wish I was Gordon Ramsay too now.
Yeah, right? A nice millionaire with a big old home and a big old kitchen.
Like an older dude too that's more fit than both of us.
He's ripped.
Yeah. Like he got it all.
Yeah.
Shit, I want to be Gordon Ramsay.
The only thing he doesn't have,
Yep.
he has dogs instead of cats.
That's a problem.
That's a deal
I'm
breaker.
out. I've changed my mind.
Deal breaker.
I'm done. I have no interest in that.
Anyway, I'm Zach Martin.
Nico could be Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
because
I'll be
they got
Gordon.
dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Do you
raw!
Do you think that Gordon Ramsay's wife gets nervous when he goes down on her? It's fucking raw.
Ugh.
That's a disgusting dad joke.
Or is he like, finally, some good fucking food?
Yeah.
No, man.
All right. Moving on.
Bourbon's good, ladies and gentlemen.
Take his drink away from him. He's
No!
I know, right?
I deserve this.
Zach and I had rough days, so we're having some cocktails. What do you? How was you guys' Prime Day?
I didn't do anything today. I got basically like home essentials stuff, but I did also get the Indiana Jones HD box set.
I made Nico buy everything, so I didn't have to spend a dime.
Oh wow! So you guys actually bought stuff.
Yeah, I got the indie box set. I was going back and forth on it, wanting to get the steel books or not, but since it's the same discs and it would work out cheaper, even if I was just getting the 3 out of the 4 movies, then I went ahead and got it. Especially since my nephews haven't seen Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Well, and you can make them suffer Crystal Skull. That'd be great.
Yeah.
No.
They'll probably like it. Let's be honest.
True. Also, the other thing is at least you got the extras. You know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the box set.
I
like the transfers are nice. The extras that are there are good. Of course, I love the first 3 movies. I haven't revisited Crystal Skull. I feel like I need to revisit it with a different mindset.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
No.
I'm gonna.
It's
I watched
so bad.
I watched it, I want to say 5 years ago,
Mhm.
and it held up as being terrible.
Oh, that's a shame. Because I tried this recently with the Phantom Menace. I thought, let me revisit it with a different perspective. And I got through 20 minutes of it and I stopped.
The problems with Crystal Skull are primarily the visual aesthetic, CGI, and writing.
Yeah.
I think action-wise, it's well edited. I think Ford is doing what he can with what he's given. Everybody's doing what they can.
But it was supposed the George Lucas era where
It's
everything
story,
had to be shot
yeah.
in a big room.
Yeah, it's that visual style of everything looking shiny, and the story is just fucking bad, and the
Kate
writing
Blanchett.
is terrible.
Isn't it Kate Blanchett that's a villain?
Yeah, she's
Kate
really
Blanchett.
bad.
I feel like this is going to sound very familiar to when we get to a movie discussion later.
Yeah, probably so.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It is like poetry. But anyway, yeah, you'll be happy. I mean, the individual steelbooks are nice because they have the original poster art, but it's the same movies, and you got them for a lot cheaper.
It's the same
because,
discs even.
Boy, I paid $80 for that set.
I paid $70 for the Blu-rays, not even
But
the 4K.
That said, I got this baby right here. This is all I bought for Prime Day. It was just, and I tried to tell some other fool that it was $47 for the Mad Max box set.
I just bought Fury Road for $23.
Here's the other thing, Nico. How long have you had your Mad Max set?
Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got that bad audio disc.
Oh yeah, you need to get that fixed.
Oh, okay.
Warner Brothers has a recall.
So
Okay.
there's a if you just want the Dolby Atmos mix, it's fine. But if you want the original theatrical audio, what they did was instead of it being the original one, they took the new Atmos mix, which
Mixed
is
it
mixed
down.
differently, and just took all those channels and put it into a stereo.
And in that situation, the original mix, I think, sounds better.
Yes.
So, yeah, you want to just get that swapped out.
Now, if you want a modern mix of this old film, by all means, there's the Atmos. But if you want the original,
But if you don't have good speakers for the Atmos, then,
I have a 5.1 and I want the original, please.
yeah.
I don't have a 5.1, so
You
what
want
sounds
the
like it's,
original mix.
I'm just gonna sneak over to Stevens and swap our box sets.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you know what's freaking sad about that is because we'll probably just watch the Atmos mix here, so I would never know.
I would actually be curious to compare because I've heard there are differences in musical volume to where stuff you were being able to hear is you can't with the new Atmos.
Interesting.
That's why people were upset. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not just expansion, it's literally remixing. It's like the new version of Star Wars. It's like the sound effects are literally louder than the music now, to where John Williams' music is getting drowned out.
Well, you know, I'm also interested to look at Fury Road because something weird happened with my Fury Road
Yeah, what the
disc.
fuck happened?
It just suddenly stopped switching to HDR. I don't know if it got a smudge on it or what happened to. I don't know. So we're gonna see if this one fixes it.
Let me tell you, that disc is amazing.
It is for
For
a 2K upscale.
HDR,
It's a 2K upscale.
if I'm being real, it looks like a 2K upscale
Mhm.
with the best HDR sheen on top of it.
It's true.
Like, holy shit, that movie on a good TV or projector is
It looks
nuts.
good. With all that said, Zach and I are just having a little bourbon with some stevia soda, which freaks me out because it's clear, but it tastes delicious. But we could have had a cocktail with some skinny mixes in it. So we'll still say thanks to them. Thanks to Skinny Mixes for supporting Culture Smash Cast. Skinny Mixes are coffee and dessert syrups that are 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 to 2 carbs. Head on over to skinnymixes.com and try some of their syrups, such as white chocolate, salted dark chocolate, salted caramel, and the variety of cocktail mixes they offer, including my favorite, the margarita mix, and other fruit flavors. Use promo code Culturesmash for a 15% discount. Spend $50 and get yourself some free shipping. All right. So let's talk about some movies. We got a big elephant in the room to talk about, but let's see what the box office and some film ball has in store for us.
It's Marcel the Shell with shoes on, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Number 10 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, made another $245,000. Is that right? Am I reading that?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. It's made a total of 400 and is that it? 411 million?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was higher than that. Is it because the international was higher? I guess I thought it was
probably.
higher than 411.
I mean, it still
All right.
eclipses the first Doctor Strange. So
Yeah, I just want to make sure I didn't
improvement.
chop something off.
So number 11 is actually Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, well, I'm glad that's in the.
It's finally out of the top 10 after 3 months.
Exactly.
So Doctor Strange worldwide has grossed 954 million.
Oh, it's worldwide. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So
All right.
less than $1 billion. Get fucked, Disney.
And we've got one that did better. Number 9 is Mr. Malcolm's List. It made 255,000. It's made 1.6 million. Number 8.
This is weird. This is like COVID times.
It is. It's so low. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On it made 322,000. It's made 945 million. That's why I was questioning, or 945,000. Sorry, didn't even make $1 million. So, but I think it's limited right now.
It's only in
it?
48 theaters.
Yeah, it's opening wide this week.
That's
Number 7.
pretty good for 48 theaters.
Right?
Yeah.
Number 7 is Lightyear. Made $3 million. It made 112.5 so far. Number 6 is The Black Phone. That one made 7.7. It's made 62, almost 62 and a half so far.
Speaking of the Black Phone.
Did we not talk about this?
The movie?
No.
Yeah, are you sure we didn't talk about the Black Phone?
Well,
Because I saw it.
Talked a
Talked
little
about
bit about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since we,
Speaking of the Black Phone,
Yes.
yeah.
I got to meet the screenwriter over the weekend.
How'd that happen?
So I went to a little event in Memphis
That's pretty cool.
called Joe Bob's Jamboree.
Oh, so he was there.
Yeah,
That's
and
pretty cool.
if you don't know, the screenwriter C. Robert Cargill used to do a podcast called Spill.com like 10 years ago when I was in college, and I used to listen to it religiously. But it was movie reviews and bullshit and all this stuff. And I look over, we sit down, I look over, and I'm like, that can't be who I think it is, because that looks a lot like Carlisle.
Yeah.
Is his name on the site.
Yeah.
And I see other people suddenly come up and shake his hand. I'm like, no fucking way. I pull up his Twitter. He's there for the weekend.
Did you take a picture or anything?
Yes. I took a picture of us together.
That's cool.
So I approached him, got to meet him. He's the screenwriter for Sinister, the first Doctor
so he
Strange.
works with Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson, yeah.
Yeah.
So he did the co-screenwriting for Doctor Strange, and most recently The Black Phone.
All right.
And he's doing Deus Ex next.
So did you ask him why he did an okay movie and not a like it?
I haven't seen The Black Phone, so I was like, I was a huge fan of Spill. It's just a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
That's pretty awesome.
And we sit and chatted for like 7-8 minutes. It was just really great.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I'm being facetious because The Black Phone is actually pretty good.
I mean, look,
it's pretty good.
being real, I'm just like, holy shit, I finally get to meet somebody from Spill.com.
All right.
Randomly.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
That is cool. This is super. I'm surprised I haven't seen this picture yet.
Really nice guy.
That's awesome. Well,
I sent the fucking picture to you.
Oh, I didn't see it. Number 5 is Jurassic World Dominion. It made 8.5 million. It's made 350.5 million so far. Number 4 is Elvis, the bane of my fucking existence. Made $11 million. 91 million so far. It's not that much money, but Steven can't
None
seem
of
to get
it
into
came
his...
from Steven, because every time he goes to see this movie, it is sold the fuck
sold
out.
out. It's like,
Really?
what? I have gone twice to see this movie, and it's been sold out fucking both times.
Well, I wish it was doing better box office to justify that.
Yeah, it's like, what is happening? Is it people in Nashville just...
I was about to say, you are in Tennessee?
Yeah, this is the target audience.
Yeah.
It's not Memphis, though. If we were in Memphis, I
Yeah,
guess
but
I would
it's
understand.
also Music City.
Yeah, I was gonna say Memphis
Nashville.
lives are probably around the block right now.
I guess, but it's like, shit, twice I've tried to see this movie in the theater. I don't even want to see it, and I fucking tried to see it twice.
Well, speaking of Elvis,
Yes?
I was at a low convention over the weekend called Joe Bob's Jamboree.
He's so stupid.
And they actually had an Elvis
was
impersonator
actually
come out
there.
and sing music.
And that would make sense for the movie that they
And
were
the
showing.
the second movie they were showing was Bubba Hotep.
If you have not seen Bubba Hotep,
Oh my god.
it's so good.
It was really great on a giant drive-in screen.
That movie is so good. All right.
This drink is really good.
So one day, yeah, you may
No, what are you doing?
there. Take the rest of the soda.
Fucker.
All right. So number 3 is Top Gun Maverick. We're going to talk more about that in a minute, but it made 15.5 million. It's made 597 so far. Number 2 is Minions: The Rise of Gru. That one made 46 million. It's made 210. Am I the only one, by the way, who's seen Top Gun Maverick?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
What in the hell is wrong with you people?
I tried to go to the IMAX and it was gone.
Spoiler alert, this movie will definitely be in my top 10 for the year. Definitely.
Is it your number one?
No, it ain't my number 1.
Yeah, because everybody knows what our number one is.
Yeah, this year's
For now.
top 10, when we do our top 10s, the number 1 spot is going to be the most boring freaking conversation ever.
Because we've talked about it for
talked it to
7 weeks
death.
already.
Yeah.
Although we still got a few more months to go. It's
I mean,
possible.
something can happen. I mean, Marcel, man. Marcel.
I've heard Marcel is great.
What were
You
you
know,
going to see in just a second?
DC Super Pets is coming out, you know.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, well, don't forget about Black Adam. I mean, it's going to be good,
You know, he kills people.
right? He does. All right, number 2, number 1 for the weekend, Thor: Love and Thunder. It made another $144,000. It's made, or $144 million, and and that is its opening weekend tally.
Yep.
So we will talk more about that in a minute. But anyway, opening this coming week, there's a lot of limited release stuff opening this week. I want to reference one because I'm hoping we get it here. It's called She Will. It is produced by Dario Argento.
Oh wait, is that no? It's not.
I really want to see this movie.
She Will.
Yeah. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is at 99% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. That's opening this weekend in wide.
Opening wide. Yeah.
Yeah, opening wide. Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank, that's at 50%. And Where the Crawdads Sing is at 37%. That's sad. That's a pretty popular book.
Womp womp.
The author is currently involved in a murder investigation.
Womp
Oh,
womp.
wow. All right, now I'm more interested. Okay, so we're going to have a very spoiler-heavy discussion of Thor, but let's let the Tina's story lead us into it because there's a good sort of starting spot with this story for us to use as a tool to talk.
Yeah. All right. Thor, Love and Thunder wrapped its first weekend at the box office, totaling $302 million worldwide. A tremendous box office success. However, strong ticket sales haven't necessarily translated to the ideal audience reception. A common complaint about Thor's fourth outing in the MCU? Film's pacing. Specific plot points or scenes feeling rushed without giving them time to breathe. For example, Jane Foster's transition into Mighty Thor takes place mostly off screen as we only see Mjolnir rumbling a bit. However, leaked footage from Love and Thunder set reveals a scene filmed with Natalie Portman in her role transitioning to Mighty Thor. Despite the success of Thor Ragnarok, Marvel Studios may have kept some restrictions on Waititi with his latest iteration of the character, evidenced by the sheer amount of deleted scenes that did not make their way into the final cut of the film. Audiences could only hope for an expanded director's cut of the film, although it's almost entirely out of the question. Fans of the Thor franchise and Waititi felt as though Gore, who was played by Christian Bale, was underutilized, and several scenes throughout the film should have been fleshed out more than what they were.
And Taika has also gone out on like press saying it's like, I don't like director's cuts. And so he's pretty much spoken against doing a director's cut. I
don't understand that.
I think it's a dumb claim to make. But
okay, Martin Scorsese.
Right.
This is a short Marvel movie. It is under 2. It is 1 hour, 59-minute runtime. And I'm like, really?
It feels short. It feels short.
So I
like the movie or not, it feels short.
I don't know where so I don't think it's that like I bet the deleted scenes are deleted because they don't work. They
Marvel told Waititi to keep it under 2 hours.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. Why? Why are they now going to be under 2 hours?
Well, I feel like it's a reaction to people saying your movies are getting too damn long because they were going the opposite direction.
They were getting too damn long.
Because previous movies had been too long. They'd stuck around on screen too long, so Marvel got a little bit too reactionary to it with this one, I think.
I agree, but usually when it's like a proven franchise or director combo, like Ragnarok, as much as we don't care for it on this show, was a success critically and just fan reaction. People loved Thor Ragnarok.
People love it.
So the fact that you have a sequel to that, not necessarily a Thor sequel, but a Thor Ragnarok sequel, a sequel to that movie, same director, same feel, and everything going into it, you would think it's like, we could go a little bit longer in this one. You don't typically go shorter in the sequels.
Exactly.
Like if it was off of like Thor, I don't know what the runtime is for Ragnarok versus Dark World, but I could see coming off of Dark World is like, we can make Thor shorter. That movie was bad. We don't need more of that.
So Thor Ragnarok is 2 hours and 10 minutes. Thor the Dark World is 1 hour 52.
So literally it's 12 minutes shorter. Okay. Well, there's a lot to say about this movie, but what I think has been really interesting is I have said my feelings about this from the beginning is the first Thor is the best of the Thor franchise.
That's not saying much.
It's not saying much, but my favorite representation of the character is Infinity War.
Yes.
Agreed.
I like
Yeah.
Thor the best in there.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Thor is he can be funny, he can be super egotistical, as he should be, but not stupid. But
yeah, that
Ragnarok
is my main issue with Taika Waititi's interpretation of the character. Thor is not supposed to be a dumb jock. Like, he explains,
I thought
he's
we
the one
moved
who's
on
supposed
past
to
the
do.
dumb chalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you look at, even in Dark World, he does expositions explaining stuff, explaining magic versus science versus Asgardian versus
I mean,
Midgardian.
he does that in the first Thor movie.
yeah.
But you get Taika Waititi behind the film, and he is literally there for the fart jokes, for the dumb slapstick comedy. And that's not the Thor that I want to see.
And this is why I was so nervous when it was like Taika Waititi is going to direct Akira.
Yeah, you
like-
should be nervous.
The weird thing is, Taika Waititi has basically turned Thor into Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China. That kind of like
That's a good comparison, actually.
that big blustering dolt who's the star of the movie.
The plot
But-
happens around them,
Yeah.
not them contributing to the plot advancement.
Do you
Zach,
have more?
No, you're cut off, sir.
Damn it.
As
But
I
yeah,
nurse this shit.
But like the
It's
whole
fucking
point
good.
of like Big Trouble in Little China is it's like riffing on the white muscular action hero coming in to
Mhm.
save the day. And it's like, no, he's the least capable person, and it's all the people around him who are actually doing this stuff. And that doesn't work for Thor because it is his movie, and he is the hero of the franchise, and
Yeah.
he's actually supposed to be capable.
You broke Zach.
And I think it's
No, I'm fine.
No, Zach broke himself. Like,
You're cut off.
yeah.
Dude.
Cut off, sir.
That was a really good drink.
That was 2 shots of bourbon you just
Look,
drank.
my tolerance for alcohol has been in the fucking ground
Yeah.
as of late, so
You should maybe get a soda.
I'm a cheap drunk.
But anyway, the thing, there's so many things about this. Oh God, it's so hard to know where to start outside of just him being stupid. I want to say that I went into the movie trying to be a little nicer to the franchise because knowing that I didn't like Ragnarok, but we had the same director with the same approach, there's no reason for me to like it. So I went in, I guess, trying to be less critical.
Your
Yeah.
bar was set. It's like
Yeah.
I know the baseline. I know Ragnarok is the baseline. So yeah, I expect around Ragnarok.
Yeah, one of the things that really like, okay, so many times Nico and I just looked at each other during the movie with like a look of, you have got to be shitting me. So
Yeah.
one of the things that YTD said was a lot of the deleted scenes, he'd add a lot more jokes and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, there's only one part that made me laugh, like literally one part. And that was when Melissa McCarthy came out as Hela. That was it. That was the only time I laughed throughout that entire movie.
I laughed hard at that one. I will admit.
Hold
that.
on, hold
It's-
on.
But it's telling though that the funny bits of the movie, like the actual like real good comedy of the movie, is not with the main cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for
And-
the back row, so you remember, did you see Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember that Matt Damon was part of a troupe
Yeah.
that were okay. Well, that continued in this one
Fuck
Yeah.
off.
with Melissa McCarthy being Helena, and while
Hela.
that or Hela, I get why you guys thought that was funny, but at the same time, if we're tight on runtime,
Oh, I would have cut them.
Oh, yeah, I would've-
that whole thing could have gone away.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, not only would I have cut them, they were in there twice.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Matt Damon and Liam Hemsworth, because the guy who plays Thor is actually Chris Hemsworth's brother. The guy who
Right.
plays actor Thor. They come back in another bit after this big attack just happens in New Asgard. And they're like, should we put on a play to entertain the people? Like, what is this joke here for?
Yeah.
Like,
But you know what? They could have left that second beat in there, and it still would have been fine. It would have been like a nod at the previous movie, but not too much time spent on it. That would have been fine.
You know what? I didn't think about it that way. I was thinking if they were going to cut one, they cut that one. But yeah, I think cutting it the other way around probably would have been better.
You describing it's like there was one moment where I laughed in this movie. That was me in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And
So
that's why I gave up on this shit.
the thing is, this particular story, and this is the other reason I tried to be nice going into this movie, is this was the last full story, and I read this because of Nico. This was the last full story that I read of Thor, and you had told me that it was good.
It is.
It is good.
The Gore the God
So-
Butcher.
The comic version is good. Yeah.
The comic, yeah, and so Gore is in the comic. It's a pretty big deal when a god gets killed.
Yeah.
Gore to me was scary. This was a guy who had access to power to kill a god. It's a big deal. But the thing that the through line of this movie is they take that big deal and it gets gutted by jokes.
Yeah.
While Christian Bale doesn't necessarily make a lot of jokes, but they cut him to a minimum in the movie.
Yeah.
He's
And not
barely
only
in the
that,
movie.
not only that, but okay, so major heavy spoilers. So the key
Oh,
to
yeah.
eternity
Oh,
is
God.
the fucking Bifrost, right? Which only the Asgardians that we know of can use, right? Okay, so why in fucking what is that place called? The Zeus place,
Oh, Omnipotent City.
Omnipotent City.
Because that's a
Why the fuck are Asgardians, who are all gods and apparently are the only ones that have the key to this magical place that grants an ultimate wish, treated as if they are lesser gods? And like, oh, we're not going to invite you to the
Okay.
board meetings. We're not going to invite you to the orgies.
I
You're not
hate
allowed
it.
here.
I-
That's fucking bullshit.
I hated the middle act of this movie.
I
so
hated
much.
The middle act was pretty damn bad. And anybody that says, like any critic that I watch their video, I mean, I'll call out some names if you want to, because I don't care. Because if you say
Do it,
Russell
baby.
Crowe is good in this movie, you
No.
can eat shit.
Wait,
No.
Russell
The
Crowe
only-
is so cringy.
Russell Crowe's in this?
He plays
Yes,
Zeus.
he's Zeus.
Fuck off.
The
He's
only
well,
reason they have that entire half an hour is because they're setting up for fucking Hercules for the next movie, and it pisses me off.
yeah,
In credits for okay, so
we'll get to that.
I will say this though. Zeus being cringy is pretty spot on, so he's doing a good
At
job.
least they're
on
true
that.
to mythology.
Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing.
I guess
the
I
internal-
just hated him.
I didn't like the character. I think Russell Crowe did fine. I think it's a dumb role. I
Yeah.
think going back to our discussion about what was the movie we were just talking about? Everyone did good, but it was badly. Oh yeah, Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull.
Crystal Skull,
I
yeah.
think the cast, everyone in it, is doing good. Like they are prepared.
I
They're trying their
disagree.
best.
I think I'll wonder who in a bit, but like I particularly really liked Christian Bale when he's actually getting to do something.
Although when he plays Gore, I want to call him Atheist Bell.
Oh, that's the best. That's the funniest joke in all of the movie.
That's pretty damn good.
No, but I think they're doing their parts. It's just that they have a bad movie that they have to do it in.
Yeah.
The middle portion really screws with, and this is part of the problem of an interconnected franchise like this. It screws with the current knowledge base of pantheons as they work in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time we find out that there were other pantheons, other gods outside of the Asgardians.
No,
And
Yeah.
Moon Knight.
okay, Moon Knight. All right, fine. But okay,
I haven't watched
Plus,
it, yeah.
Disney Plus aside, this is the first movie, the first big thing
Yeah.
that we see that there are other gods that
Mhm.
interact with each other, that know each other. So we've had 3 Thor movies, and all Avengers movies in which Thor has never mentioned other gods that he is
Yeah.
on speaking terms with or anything. So that's 1. 2, gods are actually fundamentally immortal. Thor has never been in danger in any of these movies that we've just had
100%.
because Zeus gets a lightning bolt to his own lightning bolt to the chest. He's okay. So gods cannot die unless Gore's necro sword kills them. So that's
Except that when Loki stabbed Thor in the Avengers.
also, well, he gets hurt, but he was just going to heal up in a bit. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Or Thanos snaps your neck.
Yeah, the rules
See,
of
that's the other thing is like Loki's technically the son of a giant. He's a giant, not an actual god. So maybe that's why he actually dies. But he's the god of lies. How does the pantheon work? I don't get it. The logistics
Exactly.
of gods in this universe don't make sense. And why are the Asgardians second-class citizens? We get to the mid-credits scene where Zeus is like moaning because humanity, and I guess every other species in the universe, doesn't care about gods anymore because they have superheroes. I hate
Yeah.
Thor. Like, Thor is a god and a superhero. You what are you upset at him for? He actually did stuff that save the universe. You were probably part of the 50% that Thanos stabbed away. Oh God, so much of this movie just frustrates
Also,
me.
can we just take a second? Can we just take a quick second when they're leaving Omnipotent City? Why are there 2 fucking Celestials right there?
Yeah, no one even talks about that.
No one talks about that. No one.
And a point Ted likes to make after every Marvel thing ever is
no one's talking about the
no
hand.
one talks about the
coming
hand
out of the
of
earth.
Eternals.
So
think
there's
someone would notice that by now.
You would think. So there's 2 great things about this story in comic book form. One is this one character has discovered a way to kill gods, and that's a big deal. Okay? Yeah. Then we bring in the other thing, the other story arc, and blend them, where we have Natalie Portman's character. I forgot her name all of a sudden. Jane, yeah. Who has cancer, but when she wields Mjolnir, she feels amazing, whatever, and we don't discover till later that it's actually causing her death, which gets gutted. That's not what's happening in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Why they change that?
Explained beautifully of every time that you transform into Thor, Mjolnir heals all the cells in your body, including the chemotherapy cells that are trying to heal your cancer. And every time you de-transform, it's like you've never had chemo.
I was
in this movie instead in this movie, it's written off as the chemo's not working.
Yeah, Zach is a better explanation. Basically, Mjolnir clears your body of the poisons and chemo.
Whatever the poisons are.
Chemo is a poison. Yeah. It's killing. It's a targeted poison, but it's a poison in your body.
Oh, that sounds like fucking bad writing.
No, the comic book is great writing.
Yeah, the comic.
They didn't stick with that though. Yeah. It's just the chemo is not working in the movie, and I'm like.
I was trying to figure out the reasoning for that because it's like, do they feel it's too much technobabble to explain it, and they just need this to be a little bit quicker because they got to get it under 2 hours apparently. I mean,
but I think it's part and parcel. Yeah, I think it's part and parcel to what happens to Jane's story, right? So Jane, really, the first 30 minutes of the movie are bullet points. It's like, let's get moving, let's get to the action. So she suddenly knows that Mjolnir is calling to her, right? So she goes to New Asgard to find the hammer, and it's building to what I'm waiting for. Is going to be such a cool moment, right? And she comes to the pieces of Mjolnir that's just laying there on a display, and they start moving. Cut.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you get.
You get nothing of her transforming into Thor for the first time, right? It should be one of the most epic moments in the movie is just not there. It's like the next time you see her, oh, she's just in the outfit.
Yeah. Whereas we get 3 different Thor transformations essentially because he has to have all the different outfits.
All the outfits.
I thought, as egregious as the Spider-Man No Way Home, wearing the Inside Out outfit was, Thor changes from his 80s rock band attire into what looks to be honestly a really cool Asgardian outfit
with the fur
for 2 scenes, and then is in 5 minutes, not even, and is immediately out of that because he has to show off his new
he has to mimic. Yeah, he has to.
And
mimic
it's what's the point? And then he has 2 versions of that suit because with and without the arm chainmail.
Yeah,
it's what's the point of this? How you're just selling toys. I get it. You're selling toys.
You're selling toys. Yeah, and that is a. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't want to get into conspiracies and stuff, but why is it that Jane is wearing a helmet 10 times more than Thor himself? It's like they can't cover his flowing locks, but they can put some badass helmets on her. When half the time his transformations are in reaction to her. He puts a helmet on for a second for a joke and then tears it off and you don't see it again. It's I mean, this is a minor complaint. A minor complaint. But when you don't like a movie to begin with, the little things start to stick out, right?
Yeah.
And it just bothered me.
There's a lot of little
I've been doing this shit for 10 years and y'all finally joining my side.
Well, but boy, the difference is the movies that you've been doing it to are actually pretty good movies. This one.
Example.
all of Phase 1, pretty much. Civil War being the most egregious example.
Civil
of this.
War, I will say, I have not seen it since. I need to.
You need to revisit.
Really bad theater experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I openly admit that.
yeah.
So one of the things that there's a lot of things. Okay, so bullet point number 79.7 is Sif is brought in. Sif, okay, we have not seen Sif since before Ragnarok. Okay, we always
Right.
wonder
wasn't even in Ragnarok.
where is she? Because the other three of their whole
the
group
Warriors 3?
of the Warriors 3 die. So the fact that they only bring her in for her to have Thor learn about the God Killer, the God Butcher, is bullshit to have this character brought in for like not even 3 full scenes.
Also,
it's her on the planet, the ice planet, and her being taken to the ER.
Also,
the infirmary.
despite the fact, like, she's not a primary secondary character. Like, she's definitely not main cast, but she's not like the secondary cast either. But the new secondary cast guy, Heimdall's son, out of nowhere.
Where the fuck did that come from?
But my point is,
that's my 78.9.
That's Sif's nephew, and they don't even bring it up because Sif and Heimdall are brothers or sisters, they're siblings. And it's so, and then the end credit cameo, because we gotta bring back Idris Elba for a moment.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
I'm trying to think of the stuff
Okay, so here's something. Here's something
I like in the movie, because
I liked when Thor gave the kids powers and it looked like Yggdrasil.
I will say one thing I liked. When they went to the Shadow Realm, I hate the name. That's stupid. But
it is stupid.
I thought
it's called the Shadow Realm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought the effects work of the black and white, and then how their weapons were able to bring some color into it. I thought that was cool. I liked that technique.
There was a lot of action-related stuff in Act 3 that I liked. But I feel like also the scene that you just referenced that you liked, where Thor gave power to all these little kids.
No, I didn't like him giving power. I liked that when he did, it looked like Yggdrasil. That's the only part of that scene that I liked.
To me, that sequence kind of guts the previous movies, because when he goes to Wakanda for the big battle, why did he throw out some power? Because apparently it's some shit he can do. Yeah. He should have distributed some juice, but he didn't. But all of a sudden now he can do it.
Outside of that one thing, Thor seems depowered in this movie.
Yes.
Compared to both the last movie Waititi did in like Ragnarok, when he was going toe to toe with Hulk, but then also Endgame and Infinity War, when he's just laying waste to Thanos legions. It's just like, where's that Thor?
Yeah.
His appearance in Infinity War is one of my favorite Marvel moments. It's like, with Thor's going, oh, you're screwed now. It's like such a good scene.
Yeah, the battle was seriously contested until Thor showed up, and it literally turned the tide.
Yeah.
He was just too late.
And it goes back to Thor is a fucking god, and they treated him like a fucking dumbass jock through the entire film.
See, no one was saying this for the Loki TV show when I was saying that Loki got depowered to too.
Loki got his entire character got assassinated and nerfed to the point where he is modern time wise now, instead of where he was in 2012 when the Avengers came out.
That's true.
It was a clash of like the character should not be at this point.
So here's something.
And he got nerfed.
So you're saying, Jane's story was brought in to be a central piece of this film. And one of the most egregious moments, well, there's a lot of egregious moments, but one of the most egregious moments is when she reveals to Thor that she has cancer. And he immediately makes a joke.
Yeah.
What could have been a really dramatic, interesting scene is made into a joke. And every sequence, it feels like Waititi was afraid to get dramatic. Even melodrama, like Lifetime level melodrama would have been appreciated.
And I will say that particular interaction, as somebody who's had multiple people die that I love from cancer, pissed me off. Like, his reaction pissed me off.
Like, again, I don't even remember the joke. I think I blocked that one out.
they're on the boat or the ship or whatever the fuck it is, or they're on the bow of it, and she tells him, and he immediately makes a joke. And I think this was either right before or right after I thought he was about to have sex with the axe.
Dude, okay, Stormbringer being the sentient diva drama queen is
Stormbreaker become
bullshit.
sentient?
When
Because-
does that happen?
Yeah,
When did we anthropomorphize Thor's weapons
Also,
to begin with?
You would think if that was going to be a thing that happened, especially with Stormbreaker being jealous of Mjolnir, it would have happened in fucking Endgame when he's wielding both.
Yeah.
No, that the Russos did it right. They're both heavy ass, like power killer weapons. Taika Waititi's like, no, let's make him funny. Let's make him like the new girlfriend.
I told this to
Also-
Zach. Go ahead. Finish it up. Go ahead.
Speaking of weapons that don't live up to expectation, Thor's lightning bolt is
It's Zeus's thunderbolt.
Zeus's thunderbolt. I'm sorry, I'm expecting, because it's such a central part of this whole, we need your thunderbolt to help defeat this person. The only thing that can defeat him is this thunderbolt. And it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's like a puff of smoke.
Yeah.
It's really, it's nothing.
Also, how did Thor
But-
learn to transport with the fucking thunderbolt? Like,
Well, I mean, if you
Yeah,
want to
so-
go there, like I have a thought about that in a second, but I just want to say, no. The moment that Thor scratches Stormbreaker's chin, literally in a loving caress, I wanted to storm out of the theater.
Gives it.
It happened.
yeah,
Whoa.
it pours beer over it. Like, it's time for you.
Pours beer.
What?
Have a drink,
Yeah.
Stormbreaker. I'm sorry, I love you.
Also,
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. He said it's like it's your first drink, Stormbreaker, and I'm like, if that Thor in Endgame didn't pour beer on Stormbreaker at all, I would be super surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, but it could have been done in a funnier way and less anthropomorphizing weapons kind of.
Yeah.
I think the first bit when they're in like the town hall or something, and Thor's just like standing to the side trying to like do his hand motion to get Mjolnir, and then Stormbreaker just kind of comes up behind him. If that was it, I think it would have been fine.
Yeah, because then you can
I-
just pull it off as Stormbreaker
I
was
would-
responding to the hand, not Mjolnir.
Yeah,
I
it's
still
not
would have
a
hated
sentient
it. Stormbreaker is a weapon. It's not a living thing. It's
Yeah.
But no, it's
stupid.
basically because the joke would be he's trying to do a summon weapon move and it summons the wrong weapon.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Well, if you had him react to that properly, like what the
Yeah,
fuck did I
yeah.
just do? Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. So when you were saying everybody's doing their best in this movie, I was just going to say my thing is Natalie Portman was not good in this movie. She was kind of fun as Thor in some sequences, but I feel like it's not her fault because Natalie Portman does not do slapstick comedy. And when they have
this was
her
not
try
her
to do it,
wheelhouse.
I
This
think
was
it
not
don't
her
work.
wheelhouse.
no,
I've
I
heard
agree
her
with that.
performance is really bad.
it's
I
bad.
don't think it's really bad. I think she's having fun in it. But you're right. She does not do that kind of comedic performance, and it feels like I get the idea that the Mighty Thor, the Natalie Portman's Thor, may have been like a Marvel mandate and not necessarily a Waititi idea. Because she doesn't really work necessarily with that kind of comedy often,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it is kind of a weird mix.
So she's like the Spawn from Spider-Man 3.
Spawn?
The Spawn?
Or Spawn. Wasn't he in Spider-Man 3, the Sam Raimi?
No.
I'm sorry, not Spawn, Venom.
Oh,
Venom.
yeah, okay.
Venom was in Spider-Man 3.
I think
And
I
that
was
was
trying to
Spider-Man
say
3.
symbiote.
Symbiote, yeah. And that was a
Venom-
Marvel
Venom-
mandate. Yeah.
Venom and
That was a
yeah,
Marvel
well,
mandate,
yeah.
not a
Oh,
Sam
that was-
Raimi
That was
mandate.
more of a Sony mandate.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know. I listened to a podcast recently about the development of Spider-Man 3, and it is bonkers.
Yeah.
And I forget which direction Venom mandate came from, but it was either Sony or it was Marvel. But it was definitely not. Of course, it was not Raimi's idea. And
Yeah, he did not
It's
want
just-
that in there.
So,
But yeah,
one thing,
I like her, but she just, to me, during the majority of this film, she's just not particularly good. And it's because the times where she could be good, which are the dramatic moments,
They're
continually
undercut.
get gutted. They get
Yeah.
gutted.
So one thing that we've discussed, I think it was after Doctor Strange or Spider-Man or something, how we always say, you know, these Marvel movies that aren't Avengers, they always it's getting tiring seeing them have, oh, this is the end of the world kind of deal, because you think with it's like that apocalyptic level of a threat, you'd have more anyway. But Thor's one of the ones that I actually honestly do expect an end of the world apocalyptic threat, because you're dealing with gods, you're dealing with immortals, you're dealing with cosmic beings. And the fact that when you go to Omnipotent City and Zeus is just like meh, or you get what's his name, Korg, you get Korg decimated, but no, it's okay, he's fine, he'll reach up. There's no stakes, there's no high risk.
Yeah, you literally find out the gods are immortal, and Korg, you have to destroy his mouth, and why would you care?
Yeah,
it's just, where are the stakes? It's like Thor. It's like, I need to put a team together. All right, get the freaking Avengers.
Yeah,
if gods aren't going to help you, you know who will. I know. I get like two of the ones you know the best are dead or super old. I understand that, but there are others.
Yeah.
You let the Guardians go off to God knows where, and you could have just called them back. It's just.
Okay, so let's talk about that. We didn't talk about that, but the way the movie begins.
I feel like, Nico and I discussed this, we feel like the Russo brothers painted Taika Waititi to a corner about Endgame when Thor went off with the Guardians, and Taika Waititi tends to spend the first 20 minutes, which he doesn't need to spend 20 fucking minutes on this, but he spends the first 20 minutes figuring out a way to funnily or comedically separate the Asgardian team from the Guardian team. And it's something he didn't really need to spend time on.
Taika didn't want the Guardians in it, but he had to deal with that fact. And
I mean, it could have been as simple as him just getting word from anybody to come help.
I agree, but this was definitely not a let's go the simple approach to fix this storytelling problem. Let's just
what I was going to say is what annoys me about the opening. So the Guardians and Thor are fighting for this unimportant, unnamed planet or whatever, and the first opening minutes they transformed Thor into Hancock, because it's the first thing I thought is Thor literally destroys everything to save the day.
Yeah.
And then you've got an alien, that we've never met before, who just happens to speak in, very Earth quips. I don't want to talk about that. He literally says, I don't want to talk about that.
You pulled that reference really out of the dark.
I did, but it's 100%
it is
accurate. Yeah. And then that's where we also get the fucking screaming goats that were never funny to me.
All right, so here's the thing with the goats. One, they scream too much.
Yes.
Two, it's the point where there's actual Norse mythology conflicting with what the MCU wants Norse mythology to be. Yeah. Because we know, based on the fact that like Jane has two thick books of Norse mythology plainly in her office, and from even going back to the first Thor movie where they have a book of pictures with like the Bifrost and all that stuff. Norse mythology is a thing. These gods are known gods. Those goats are known goats in Norse mythology. Thor doesn't get them from an alien planet in like 2025 or whatever the timeline is right now. No, those are Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder are Thor's chariot goats. Those are his actual goats.
Like in Norse mythology, where would Earthlings come up with that if they didn't actually experience that? And thus Thor should not have been gifted those goats from an alien civilization in 2020.
All you need to do, they could have just been in New Asgard.
Yeah.
And when they said, "Hey, I need a ship or something," it's like, I've got a ship with goats that will pull it. It's like you don't have to give this sci-fi space explanation for it. They're Norse gods. You want us to believe that gods are a thing in the MCU, that they exist.
Yeah.
Then just go with it. Don't try to explain it.
Well,
it felt like he was ham feeding us stuff that we really didn't need, treating us almost like idiots or stupid at some point.
Yeah.
So it does disregard something that was set up in previous films, and I feel like this is another thing about Waititi is he
didn't
is
watch
disregarding.
Thor Dark World.
Yeah, he's disregarding the first two films because it was set up, and I thought it was an interesting direction to take Thor, where his god powers were based off technology in a lot of ways. There was technology that we didn't have and didn't understand, but most of that is gone in this movie and just becomes magic. And while
and it goes
some
back to
visual
turning
things
Thor
do
into a fucking dumbass jock. Like,
yeah. Because you remember, he did this really great sequence of describing how his power kind of works and where the powers from Asgard come from.
Yeah.
And it's like an interesting direction to go with the character, and it's like gone in this movie.
Because you get that Asimov line of like sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yes.
that's how the Asgardians are typically portrayed.
I mean, hell, in the first movie, he's the one who describes the Heisenberg-Rosenthal bridge or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's a rainbow bridge.
Yeah. But he's the one who explains it to the astrophysicists.
But it's also like I'm fine with deifying the characters. Like Thor, like treating Thor as an actual god of thunder. Like there is magic. It is also it can be explained scientifically if you are able to understand it, which most people aren't. But there's a logic to the magic of Thor. I'm fine with that. I want to embrace that. I make the goats a thing. I'm fine with all of that. But don't it's like it wants to have its cake and eat it too on both. Yeah, gods are existing, but gods are stupid and none of their stuff makes sense. So we can't actually use the god stuff to explain why he has goats.
Yeah.
I mean, the visual of the goats pulling literally a boat through space was kind of cool.
Yeah, no,
very comic book.
That was a great visual. When I saw that imagery I saw I didn't like any of the trailers for this movie. I saw that imagery. It's like, we got Thor's goats. That's a good sign. It was not, apparently. You're right. Like, when a movie is this frustrating, little things stick out, and I'm just going to keep ranting and ranting. We were going to bed the other night, and Tina just randomly.
I was almost asleep, and I woke myself up with how much I hated this movie.
And then I couldn't go back to sleep for half an hour because I was about the movie.
So here's another thing, and this is one thing that Marvel, when they do it well. And they did part of it well in this movie, and other parts they didn't do as well. I like that Marvel is trying to sort of just normalize LGBTQ people. Yeah. This is not. I don't like it when it's wedged in there and pushed in your face. Hey, you got to think this is okay. You got to. I like it when it's just part of the culture, part of the world, because and that's because it's the way it fucking should be. Everybody's just everybody, right? And they kind of did that a little bit with this one. But then at the same time, they were like...
They did it good with Valkyrie, but
Valkyrie is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they did it really good with Valkyrie, but I don't know, Korg's whole...
Felt forced.
Yeah, it felt forced, yeah.
The thing about Korg, it does feel forced because... and the reason it feels forced is twofold. One... they make his species' entire reproduction thing specifically specified. It's like 2 men, and they do this. And at this point, it makes it sound like, well, it's not LGBTQ quite, because it sounds like they just aren't women in his species. So you have to be aligned one way or no way.
Whereas that one scene with Valkyrie kissing the hand of Zeus's handmaiden, I fucking loved that.
But the other thing about
this is what I loved about that scene, though, real quick.
I want to finish my Korg bit.
Okay.
The other thing about Korg is when it shows him in the epilogue of like him in a relationship with another Korg guy, has the most stereotypical mustache of like
he's a bear,
Mercury bear mustache.
He's a bear.
And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But the Valkyrie bit, I want you to go on that because I have one point on Valkyrie I want to make that's not a problem, but it's a problem with the movie and not the actress. So
okay, I was just going to say the thing that I loved about the Valkyrie thing is within that one scene, without saying hey, look what we're doing, it's just randomly a throwaway scene that says, hey, Valkyrie is bisexual. And what I love about that sort of god thing is because the gods that I know, like, they drink a lot and they fuck a lot. And it's like, we fuck everybody. We don't care.
Yeah.
We like to drink meat and fuck, whether it's a guy or a girl or whatever. We don't care.
Sometimes
I like
in
that.
zoos, it's like animals. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea, and it's cool. It's just there. But there is a Rainbow Bridge joke later that felt like someone kicked me in the ass. I just hated it.
That one.
I don't remember that one.
But anyway,
it's also something that Valkyrie's character would do.
All right, here's my Valkyrie. Here's the thing that irks me again, and it gets to this movie doesn't know where or when it wants to embrace mythology and ignore mythology. I think that's the best way to put it.
I know.
I think it would have
been
super cool that the death scene, again, spoilers, death scene of Jane Foster at the end of the movie, that it just cuts away everyone else in silence and Valkyrie shows up to take her away. Because that's
Valkyrie's job.
That's her literal job. Other than like this specific Valkyrie being king of Asgard and everything, Valkyries take the souls of fallen warriors to Valhalla. And you have a Valkyrie in the movie. You have a fallen warrior. Valkyrie should have just like appeared. And it's like, and they get out of a conversation like, how are you here? It's like, oh, I am a Valkyrie. This is literally what I
would have been so cool.
And
sorry, you got to go to the Northman to see that.
To
watch another mediocre movie.
Yeah.
To build on that, it also would have given us one of the few like character interactions that I absolutely thirsted more for, of Jane Foster and Valkyrie. I loved those two characters when they interacted.
When they were both being badasses, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it wasn't about being jokey and funny. And they were both just being badasses. I'm with you. I was
that whole
with it.
scene where Valkyrie's going to check on Jane Foster and what did the sink do? It's like, what is this? A grenade? No, it's a portable speaker. Like, I don't know, just like their fist bumps and their camaraderie. It felt natural because, again, deleted scenes. Jane Foster had been there for a while at this point. She had been acting as Mighty Thor, and thus her and Valkyrie had all these interactions that we don't get to see. So they had that friendship build up. And if we had seen Valkyrie take Jane Foster to Valhalla, we would have gotten more of that and maybe a closure for Valkyrie, who is just going to be like, oh, what? Jane Foster's dead? That sucks.
I think it just, again, it's just this movie, and Taika Waititi specifically, or it could be Marvel. I mean, it's definitely Taika Waititi feel of a movie, but we don't know where the Marvel notes take effect and where Waititi's actually in control necessarily.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't know when you want to embrace mythology and ignore mythology. Yeah. And it seems like you're doing it at the wrong parts.
And that's what's funny is what I think is interesting about Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness is, love it or hate it, at least I know when I watch that movie when it's Sam Raimi and when it's Marvel.
Yeah.
And I can choose to appreciate it in that way. This one just seems like a fucking mess of a movie. And when you're talking about the whole Jane Foster Valkyrie interaction, I love those scenes too. And I agree with you. I think we lost some of that character building in probably deleted scenes. But one of the things that's part and parcel with that I've seen a lot of complaints about is, just because Jane Foster gets the power of Mjolnir doesn't mean she's all of a sudden a badass fighter. She just has the power. Now, the way I justified that in my mind while I was watching it is that she just gained the knowledge along with the power. Yeah. But some comedy that she probably could have pulled off would have been her kind of fucking it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Messing up the fights a little bit, wielding the power improperly, or something like that. But they didn't embrace that opportunity. Instead, they just immediately make her awesome. And that's a shame. That's a shame, because she's not funny with the one-liners. But some physicality could have been funny with her.
Also,
they just
her
didn't do
whole
it.
trying to find a catchphrase got annoying.
Yeah, because it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
It
the
was
fact that we never find out what her approved catchphrase is.
I think that's the thing. I think it's the payoff we don't get.
We never get that.
She whispers it to Thor, and we never get it.
If the build-up to that had been funny, that payoff would have been fine. Like, to not know would have been kind of like the Shells and Demolition Man.
Yeah.
It would have been something to talk about for years. But instead, it was a bunch of flat jokes that don't work. And people talk, I see a lot of other reviewers saying the movie is actually really funny. No one was laughing in my theater. Like there
We
was
had a
no
couple
laughing.
of people laughing, but it was mostly at the screaming goats, which
Yeah.
got annoying.
Also, the slightly back to the LGBTQ conversation is that core character played by Waititi. It was wedged in, but also I might be feeling unfairly toward it because I hate that character. I hate it.
Yeah, I got tired of Korg after he showed up in Infinity.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could have had
No,
so many people from. We could have had more Valkyrie. We could have had more of other characters that are actually really cool instead of him. And I just thought he wasn't good, and that was Waititi wedging himself into a movie he's already written and directed.
Yeah,
It's enough.
I think he like in Ragnarok. Here's the thing: this movie makes me like Ragnarok more, just in comparison.
Yeah.
Because I think Ragnarok is a better movie than this one. In Ragnarok, same characters in there, but he is very much a background, just kind of like he's there, but he's not part of the main team of characters like in this one. And I think that's less egregious. That's less of a sticking out sore thumb, because it's just like, oh, the director's just got a small part in the movie, as opposed to, no, he's one of the main cast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It feels very egotistical.
We should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what's the question?
So there's been a huge speculation online of the visual effects.
Yeah.
And how they are noticeably more subpar than other Marvel films.
Except for the one scene that Nico referenced, I would probably agree with that. They're pretty bad in a lot of places. The black and white scene is pretty cool. There's a couple of fight scenes that I kind of enjoy, even though they kind of gut the character. Like, I enjoyed the kids a little bit, to be honest. But what he did to give them power kind of like gutted the character.
Yeah.
It's not like top bar Marvel movies. I don't know if it would be like subpar.
It's not like Hulk.
It's not bottom bitch like Hulk. Yeah. But it's not.
I don't want to compare it to Hulk, because that is over a decade ago now. I'm trying to think. Nothing in it to me really stuck out as like, that is terrible special effects, like Superman special effects. It just wasn't anything.
Some of the shadow monsters.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you the shadow monsters.
Yeah, they weren't great.
It was just nothing really to write home about. Okay, yeah. I will say the omnipotent city, just based on the fact of how they designed it to be this huge floating city and everything, is painful to the eye.
Yeah.
It is painful to the eye.
I don't know if they could have made that for what they were going for. I don't know if they could have made that better. I think they would have fundamentally redesigned.
Honestly, the entire first 20 minutes with the Guardians was also very
eyesore. I will say that the Guardians bit was very like just
that entire thing was just cringy. Like
yes, it's awful. So like I want to focus on the third act a little bit, because I was not with this movie till the third act, and I kind of liked some sequences of the third act. And we have this character, his little sidekick, Korg, or whatever the fuck his name is telling a story, a fable, throughout the film. He's telling the story, and in the third act, we have the final battle, which is cool. There's some fights, and we get to this point, and I'm going to get back to Korg in a minute, but I got to stop here because I know Nico or Tina are going to have something to say about this, because they should. It boils down to our villain being able to have a wish, basically, for whatever he fucking wants.
Which
it makes no sense. Thor confronts him with a big, piece of dialogue, like a monologue. And then finally, knowing that this guy wants to kill gods, that's what we know of this guy. He wants revenge on all gods. Just says, just have your wish. Fucking lets him have his wish, hoping that his monologue convinces him not to kill everybody. He did. He chose not to kill everybody. From the
movie we just saw, Thor is literally the only good god in all of Marvel existence.
Yeah, apparently.
Yes.
So I'm kind of side with Thor. that. So, like, you know what? We don't need gods. Gods suck. I just went to a town full of gods. They were all terrible people.
I also
Murder
Yeah,
them
but
all.
if Thor is a lovable
At that
buffoon,
point-
he's not going to want to take a chance on killing everybody, and that's the only thing you can say about Thor from these last two movies. He's a lovable
because
buffoon.
every Asgardian is technically a god, so that would mean the complete
Yes.
annihilation
I
of.
don't know if
Valkyrie
that's necessarily
dead.
true, because we don't know how this movie treats mythology.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, but
That's my
one thing
point.
I will
It's
say
like,
about
ooh.
one thing I will say about that is, Thor's like, fucking, I give up. But at that point, it's also like, Jane's about to die. And I love her. So I don't want to argue with this dude while she's dead, while she's dying.
Or
So I
he
can get that.
bum rush him, steal the wish, and bring back.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
so glad they didn't
So-
do that.
I'm glad that's not the resolution, but
I would have been
Thor-
so pissed.
I feel like Thor should have tried it.
I would have been so
Okay,
pissed
so-
if they didn't have Jane die.
Here's something that kind of, you stay to the last post credit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're gonna get to that. But the thing that actually worked on me, so this God Butcher guy has a daughter that he chooses to bring back instead, because
This
Thor,
is why
Thor
he-
was.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say that's why he hates all gods. So
Because he prayed
because
for
his
God
daughter
to-
was killed by a
Yeah.
god.
His daughter wasn't
Basically.
killed by God. His God was basically absent father. It's
Yeah.
like they were very devout. He kept praying for.
They
his
suffered.
God.
His daughter died of dehydration and
And then he
starvation.
stumbles upon his God, and his God is a dick. Not like evil or ruthless or anything. His God is just an asshole.
His
A
God's like,
complete
"What?
asshole.
You're the last of my
He's a
disciples.
prick.
Don't worry, there'll be more. I don't care about you.
I don't
guys.
need
You
disciples.
suffer."
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Die, bitch. Yeah. So this leads to the two moments that I most liked in the movie. I had to like suck it up and deal with him having this wish, which I thought was stupid. But he brought his daughter back, and his daughter is basically OP, super powered,
Yeah.
right? So Thor agrees to take care of the daughter, right? And we've had this whole setup, Thor, Love and Thunder, and we've been led to believe by good marketing, bad trailers, but good marketing this whole time, that probably the Love and Thunder, the love had to do with him and Jane, or Valkyrie and her girlfriends and boyfriends, everything that she likes. That's what we're led to believe. And then we get the conclusion of the story, which I actually thought was sweet. You have Thor going out to fight with the daughter, and Gore finishes the story and says, and they were known as Love and Thunder. I was like, that's beautiful. That is a beautiful moment.
That was a very poetic ending. Yeah, and
it was beautiful. And at that same,
I'm a sucker for Dad Thor.
You-
I will say that.
I mean,
Like, that
it
is
says a lot that scene happened, and I was so mad at this movie because Thor was about to have sex with an axe at one point, but it still like got a little like mushy for me. That moment.
That
at
is
the
also
end.
Chris Hemsworth's daughter.
Yeah, that is Chris Hemsworth's
Yeah.
actual daughter. So
That's cool. So two things happened that I really appreciated. One, Jane died, which I thought was amazing. They killed her. And then we had this beautiful moment with Thor and this little girl. I thought, okay, most of this movie has been bad, but that's a 1.5 out of 5. I appreciated where they went at the end. So then we had the post-credit scenes. The first one we have is with Zeus, Mr. Cringe McCringerson, introducing Hercules in a way that I thought was unfair to the character based off the comics, because I enjoyed Hercules as a villain and then as a hero and part of the Avengers at one point.
Yeah,
I could take him or leave him. I didn't ever really care.
I've never really cared for Hercules that much, but I know there are Hercules fans.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of Marvel.
Yeah.
Pretty much every character is going to have fans at some point. And it's like, and Hercules is an established character. He's not even a low tier like the Guardians would have been considered. He's not like Iron Man, but still.
Exactly.
It is definitely a weird way to bring in Hercules, who is played by, I forget the actor's name, but he's like one of the main football players on Ted Lasso.
So imagine if you will, I have not liked most of this movie, but I liked the action, some of the action in the third act. I liked the balls to kill Jane in the third act. I really liked Dad Thor trying to make pancakes and then going out and fighting with this little girl, and that they're loving thunder. I'm like, this is fucking beautiful. And then I started thinking about, as the credits were rolling, the things I liked. I really liked the soundtrack. I liked the utilization of the soundtrack. I liked that the score took Sweet Child of Mine and reworked it with a female vocal and all the little things. And then the one joke that I liked that you wouldn't get is this focus on the Rainbow Bridge, and they end with a rainbow in the dark. That was the only time I kind of smirked, which is a old metal song, right? So I'm kind of like, okay, all right, it wasn't good. I still hated it, but okay. Post credit scene happens.
Oh.
We see Hemdale, who has been dead for a long time.
Heimdall.
But he's in heaven,
Valhalla.
basically.
He's in
He's in Valhalla. And then fucking Jane walks up and he goes, "Welcome to Valhalla."
What?
And I was like,
Fuck
I literally
you.
was sitting in the theater and I just went, "Fuck you, movie." I pointed at the screen. I said, "You just took the thing that kind of pulled me back in a little bit and just
Because
destroyed."
you know they're gonna come back.
Well, I mean,
No.
yeah. I mean, I get it. Like the
I hate it.
Yeah,
And it goes back to my claim of there's no fucking stakes in this.
There's
Jane
no
dies, but she's
stakes.
it goes back to
You're
like, my thing-
right.
It goes back to mine too about like Windu embrace and Windu ignore mythology. Because like for me, I'm like, of course she's in Valhalla. She's a warrior who died on the battlefield. That's where she's gonna go when she dies. Not to like a Christian heaven. She's gonna go to Viking heaven, and that's what that is. So, but it's
But
weird.
this means we're gonna get Heimdall and her back as ghost, Jedi, like fucking Anakin Skywalker of
That also opens
Marvel.
the door. That
But-
also opens the door for Anthony Hopkins and Renee Russo.
I was
Yeah, I
I'd
hate
be
it.
okay
I would have
with
actually
Renee.
appreciated that scene way more if there were way more dead characters there.
Yeah.
If you had Renee Russo, Anthony Hopkins, any of the Warriors.
I
three,
would have cried if fucking Freya was the one who was there.
So to be fair, I love Renee Russo. I've kind of always really liked her for a lot of reasons, and would love to see her, in a movie, but not in this franchise.
Yeah.
Because,
But,
like you said, everybody can come back.
Like
Everybody can fucking come back. This reminds me of when I was a kid and I read the Secret Wars like graphic novel and loved it so much when the Wasp died.
Oh.
And Doctor Doom became all powerful at the end and fucking brought her back. I was like, this changed comic books forever for me. And then I felt this right here in this movie. I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
I mean, like I knew like the movie mentioned like brought up Valhalla multiple times, especially with like Sif, you can't go to Valhalla. You're not dead on the battlefield. You survived, and it's like, oh, okay, this is someone's gonna die and go to Valhalla. Like that's gonna be a plot point. This is a setup. Like,
I hate
if they could be smart and just not deal with it, but I don't know. I'm kind of two minds on it because it's like if they embrace mythology more and use the Einherjar to like the warriors, Odin's like warriors in Valhalla to actually like the whole point of Valhalla is like that's where the warriors go when they die.
As
So
they
that
wait for Ragnarok.
So that Odin can summon them as the Einherjar to fight for him in Ragnarok. Except they screwed up Ragnarok in this franchise.
It wasn't established this way. It wasn't established this way. So, okay, you want to laugh? Here's what's funny about this situation is I wanted to kill time while I was waiting for the final post-credit scene, right? So I pulled up my letterbox and wrote my review and gave it 2 out of 5. And then it happened. I was like, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch!
You could have gone back and edited it. You could have.
I know. I'm going to go back and change it. It's going to get a 1 out of 5 now because of that. Because
I guess final
Scores, I guess, yeah.
Mine was
right.
I think
out of 10. Out of 10.
yeah, out of 10, I think it's 2 out of 10. Yeah. I'm not happy with it. This is my least favorite Marvel movie. Hands down.
I agree too. Maybe a 2.5 if I'm in a happy mood, but no. I never thought I would find a movie that I liked less than Hulk, and I found it.
I can't do it because I'm gonna like, and another thing that pisses me off, and another thing that pisses me off.
That's
Do
the
it.
thing.
Be here all night.
I can. if we were talking, if you had it to where it's like you can only talk about the good things in this movie,
Well, we would have been done an hour
our
ago.
discussion would have
Right?
been done an hour ago.
So it's funny with this movie is, like I said, I tried to be like really nice and positive going in. So coming out, I thought about all the things that I thought were good. I like the soundtrack. I still like Chris Hemsworth. It's still, and I literally said it's still better than the second one, but not now. Now it has not aged well.
See, that's
And
the thing.
as I've set with it, I would rather watch the second
Dark World.
one.
Yeah.
I would rather watch Dark World.
The second one isn't awful. It's
just
bland.
boring.
Yeah, it's boring. It's bland. And whereas this one is just frustrating. It actively pisses me off. And like it takes Taika Waititi, like Ragnarok and Love and Thunder have taken some of my favorite story arcs in Thor and comics too, because I love Planet Hulk, which Ragnarok took good bits of that from.
Yeah.
But it also he's taken a lot of stuff from the Walter Simonson run. This one's taken a little bit of Simonson stuff with the battle armor suit that he wears, but mostly it's from the Jason Aaron run. And it's like I love these runs, and it's like, oh
Butchered
man,
them. God
butchered these runs. Oh.
So here's possibly the best thing about this movie is I like the first Thor movie. I have always liked the first Thor movie. I think the first Thor movie, the first of all of the franchise,
It's fun.
and I also think it had, my favorite rendition of Thor is Infinity War, period.
Yeah.
But of the Thor movies by themselves, I like the first one because I think it has the most clear story arc. It does focus on some things from the comics that I like. I like this sort of Shakespearean thing that Kenneth Branagh does in all of his movies and brings it to Thor. I've always liked it better. And now I'm seeing critics say, that first Thor movie, probably the best one, probably pretty good. And I'm like,
for me, the
bitch,
Thor
I told
rankings,
you.
Yeah, the Thor rankings are one. I actually kind of go back and forth on if I like Dark World or Ragnarok better. I have different standards for movies. You know this.
I do. And it's fine. It's totally fine.
I
But
think
no.
I think the humor is better balanced.
Love
in
and
Ragnarok.
Thunder is at the bottom. Like, it makes me, if there's another Taika Waititi produced, directed, whatever, Thor movie, I don't want to go see it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, they have to. Waititi's state is welcome. They gotta bring in fresh blood on the next Thor movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know who. Kenneth Branagh coming up would be really neat, but I don't think that's.
Bring Kenneth Branagh back. I'm down. Let somebody else write the script.
Fuck
I
that.
am curious
No,
why.
I'm fine.
I am
Belfast
curious-
is in my top 10.
Fucking bring anyone else back. Actually, outside of what Taika
I'm kind
Waititi.
of curious because, like, of the early Marvel movies, you have Favreau is the only one who really stayed on, and then Whedon got 2 Avengers movies, but Favreau got 2 Iron Man movies, and then stayed on as an actor for several movies onward.
Right.
So, but Marvel typically tries to kind of pick a guy and stay with them. And if they don't work, they'll switch them out. But when it's been the same Spider-Man director, and I know that's Sony, it's been the same Ant-Man director,
Same Guardians.
Scott Derrickson was going to do got far into Doctor Strange before he backed out. And from what I understand was stuff that he needed to back out, like personal stuff he needed to back out for, which is fine.
Right.
Guardians, very much they got James Gunn, and James Gunn has nailed Guardians.
Yeah.
Sure, people don't like 2 as much as 1, but still, it is.
I didn't like 2.
James Gunn is the success story because he's got a clear vision, kind of like Waititi's got a style. James Gunn's got a style, except his movies are good.
The thing is, some of Taika Waititi's stuff for me lands. Like, I fucking love Hunt for the Wilder People.
I love Hunt for the Wilder People.
I like JoJo's
I haven't seen that
Bizarre.
one.
Fine.
Well, we
I
need the
think you'd
shadows
enjoy Hunt for the Wilder
can eat
Wilder
shit.
People.
I hate that movie. It's
I
overrated.
think it's fair. I mean, I also can't get into the show either.
Yeah.
I think you would probably find something more with Hunt for the Wilder People, especially since you liked the end of this, like the actual.
Yeah,
end of the
I
movie.
think you would very much enjoy Hunt for the Wilder People.
It's got a much more like a weird.
Plus you
father-child
get
dynamic.
a really awesome performance from grouchy Sam Neill.
Yeah, I love
That
Sam.
helps. I like Sam
Yeah.
Neill. And that one and Jojo Rabbit are two movies that I've kind of needed to see, but every time I see a Marvel installment from him, it gets
I think
lower in the
JoJo Rabbit
list.
would be harder just because Taika Waititi is a main character.
Yeah.
So that mileage may vary.
But I also look at that as that's also a personalized fuck you to Hitler because he is you're basically having this indigenous director playing Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
And Adolf Hitler would fucking scream at that.
I think
And on a break the fourth wall level, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh man. So
But anything he touches that is Thor or TV show, I just
do we want to change gears and go up up in the sky?
We've gotten bottom gun. Let's get that top gun.
let's get that Top Gun, baby.
All right. So very few obstacles are left for Top Gun Maverick to beat, but now is past one of the few remaining ones to become the highest grossing Paramount Pictures release in the studio's 110-year history in the domestic box office. James Cameron's epic Titanic held the title for just short of 25 years. It's at its 25th anniversary now. But Top Gun Maverick has officially sank the 1997 film Better Than an Iceberg as the Paramount top grossing film of all time in domestic. Having now taken in, this is after the weekend, so a couple days too, $601.9 million now.
Shit.
Beating out now the gross for Titanic. So yeah, it's made some money.
So I'm so
Paramount's
annoyed
happy.
about this because no one was on my side about how epic this movie was going to be this summer.
Oh, I think Zach was on your side.
No, Zach was not
his
on my side. Zach was on the side of fucking Steven in the film ball game. He wasn't on the side of that Top Gun was going to do that well. No one believed it but me.
I don't think.
And then I fucked myself by messing up my money.
I do not believe that you thought it was going to do this well. I think you.
I thought it was going to be huge.
It was going to be huge. But
this is. No one could have thought it was going to do well. Yeah, it is remarkable, but I did feel that it was going to be in the top 2 or 3 for the summer. I did feel that. I felt it was going to do better than Jurassic Park. I didn't know if it was going to do Marvel money. Who would have? No one thinks a movie with a 60-year-old actor is going to do Marvel money. But I did feel it probably would have been 2 or 3 behind Thor and Doctor Strange, and holy shit. But that said, even though I'm losing in the film ball because I didn't fucking get the movie, this son of a bitch did, I love the movie, and I'm proud to see that practical effects and straight up popcorn, summer movie fun can still be, that's not stupid, by the way, can still be a thing, and,
Oh,
I'm
speaking...
happy.
we missed something earlier.
Yeah, speaking of the film ball, quick update.
God, we don't have to talk about this.
I think we should talk about this.
In 5th place, and again, keep in mind, this does not include the weekend box office numbers. Steven, 5th place, $66 million, almost $70 million. You're
How's it feel?
Y'all go see
you're
the Black Phone.
50K short.
Actually, do need to.
Nico is at number 4 with 111.7 million. Nathan falls to 3rd place with 379 million, which means I rise to 2nd place with 422 million.
Yeah, Tina,
And
look
then
at you.
And then 1st place is 697 million is Zach. So I'm going to enjoy 2nd place as much as I can. I'm still bringing in a little bit of money from Elvis. I still have Vengeance and Where the Crawdad Sings comes out this weekend, but Nathan does still have Beast and 3,000 Years of Longing. So I think you're going to see me and him go back and forth a little. We got to wait and see how much Nope brings in for Nico. And he also has Thor, Love and Thunder. Funny enough,
I would take back everything I said. This movie was golden. You should.
Funny thing is, on Monday, he sends me a text and he's like, "Hey, would you plug in 144 million just so I can see how much Thor helped me this weekend?" And I did, and he was still in 4th place, and I was like, "It didn't do shit." I'm like,
We
You
just
were
gotta pump
still,
those numbers up. Those are
You were
rookie numbers.
still $100 million away from third place.
Yeah, I'll get it.
It's going to be interesting to see how Thor: Love and Thunder does in the next few weeks too, because
Yeah.
it's a weird spot critically. Like some people hate it, some people like it. I don't understand. You know,
but it's not. Some people are like, it's okay, but I don't see love for Love and Thunder all that much.
No.
Agree.
All right, so let's
TV.
switch gears and go over to TV.
Real
Good
question.
morning for
Before we get to TV,
What?
Yeah.
did anybody see the trailer for the Monsters?
I didn't see it yet.
Oh, I saw that it was
God.
out. I didn't click on
Yeah, I didn't see
I
it
didn't
yet.
click on it
Oh,
because it looked
no.
like another. Hold on, it looked like another What We Do in the Shadows trailer, and I'm sick
No,
of them.
no. It's not. It's not that kind of.
It looked like it from the thumbnail. I
Yeah,
thought
okay.
it was nice.
So it's not a mockumentary style production like What We Do in the Shadows, but it's bad. This does not look professionally made.
I'm serious when I say this.
Yep.
It looks like a temp work in progress trailer.
Why would you put that out?
That's
I
my
don't know.
point.
Yeah.
It looked like the audio mixing doesn't feel done. It looks like a temp edit.
Oh God. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I'm serious.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it either.
It looks bad, and it's also just like, oh man, I don't know. I will say that like the best performance in it, I think, is Sherry Zombie Moon, his wife.
Sherry Moon Zombie.
Sherry Moon, is probably the best performance in it.
Yeah.
The guy who plays
Whoa.
Herman, the guy who plays Herman Munster is
Real
not
bad.
good. Yeah, really bad.
Ugh.
I mean, I kind of like Sherry Moon Zombie, but if she's your high bar, shit's
Yeah.
bad.
I will say
Shit's bad.
she's doing a different acting than she's done in, say, 31 The Devil's Rejects, House of a
Everything
Thousand
else.
Corpses.
She seems to be actively doing the character. Like
All right.
for what people
Now I gotta
remember
look
the
at it just for
Munsters.
that.
Like I
She
can
plays
tell
Lily, right?
Hmm?
She plays Lily, right?
Yeah, she's
I can
Lily
tell
Munster.
Rob Zombie's heart is in the right place. I just don't think.
Have they revealed who's playing Eddie?
Yeah, that's the other thing. None of the kids are in this trailer. Like,
Yeah.
there's no Eddie Munster. There's no the
Marilyn
niece
Munster.
Marilyn.
Yeah.
The normal, like, they're not. They're it's just the adults. It's straight. It's a. I was wondering if it was gonna like jump cut, kind of like how the CGI Addams Family movie does. How it has like the opening is them getting married, and then it jumps to everyone's born and stuff, and they move in the house.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, Eddie Munster was one of my favorite characters as a kid because he was around my age. So I love that.
Yeah, it's.
All right. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
But if you want to watch some stuff, you can watch stuff that is nominated for some Emmys on television. The creative teams of Succession and Ted Lasso are probably partying it up. Succession has earned the most nominations of any show, earning a total of 20 of this season, not ever. Earning a total of 25 nominations, including Outstanding Drama, as well as Outstanding Lead Actor for Brian Cox and Jeremy Strong. Ted Lasso led the comedy category, earning 20 nominations, including one for Outstanding Comedy. Jason Sudeikis, series star, gets a nod for lead actor. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. White Lotus.
I have not even watched that show.
I see clips of it, and I like what little bit I've seen. I just don't have Apple TV.
We do. It's just I don't want to log into it.
I would totally watch it. Log into the TV.
It's on my iPad.
White Lotus was a favorite in limited series categories, earning 20 nominations, including 8 nominations in supporting acting categories.
I heard great things about White Lotus. I haven't seen it.
Hacks and
They're my favorite part of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right?
that's also not true. Hacks and Only Murders in the Building earned 17 nominations each, rounding out the top 5 nominated programmings. And if we want to just hit the top ones, Outstanding Drama Series, Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, which is an Apple Plus series I want to see, Squid Games, which is the first non-English language series to be nominated for drama, Stranger Things, Succession, and Yellow Jackets. Outstanding Comedy is Abbott Elementary, Barry, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Hacks, Marvelous Miss Maisel, Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, What We Do in the Shadows. Outstanding Limited is Dope Sick, The Dropout,
Have you seen the
Minute
show?
Anna, Pam and
But I don't
Tommy,
care.
and
Nothing
White
I
I heard
Lotus.
it's way better than the movie.
And there's a bunch of other stuff. So yeah.
The sad thing about this when I saw the list was that I just don't care about any of these shows enough to actually watch them except Euphoria.
There are some like
Strange Things.
while Killing Eve didn't get nominated for
I
stuff,
want to see The Great.
I do eventually want to see The Great. But like we did end our Hulu account, so we have to open that up again.
Yeah.
But like Killing Eve didn't get a nom for its last one, but Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer both got noms for Best Actress.
Marvelous Miss Maisel is actually a really good comedy show.
Yeah,
you guys have talked about that one before. You watched that one, right?
Yeah.
We haven't watched this season yet, but because it like came out right when we were moving.
I will say some of the nominations for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited Series, Colin Firth for The Staircase and Andrew Garfield for Under the Banner of Heaven. I really want to see those. I haven't gotten around to it, but I've heard they're really, really good. And then of course you got Sebastian Stan as Tommy.
Let's correct that. You have Sebastian Stan's dog as Tommy.
Listen.
But I want Michael Keaton to win just because I like Michael Keaton getting awards.
Reasonable. I see a lot of people complaining about Stranger Things, and I'm like, do you not know how this works?
I mean, it's still got a best drama.
And to be fair, I think that's the only one that it was nominated for. It's not going to win it, but it got the clout for nominations.
If you're looking at like what network has the collective largest, the Emmys didn't actually announce that, so people had to do that math on its own. And I believe it's HBO/HBO Max, like the HBO conglomerate together. Has the most nominations.
And that's been a pretty consistent thing for a long time.
Yeah.
HBO usually does very well with the Emmys, and I'm fine with it only because it's prestige TV.
Yeah.
They do really high-end stuff. I mean, their stuff looks good. It's good, but it also looks good. It looks cinematic. You know, like Netflix stuff does not look good. I'm sorry. It doesn't.
Well, except Stranger Things.
Well, Stranger Things looks mostly good.
Yeah.
The CGI could be better. Even as much money as they spend.
I don't know. That last episode when it ripped through the town looked very good.
I thought
I would say, Stranger Things looks good, and it is probably where all of their production budget goes for anything that Netflix does.
Now, if you want to find out who wins what, you can always tune into the 74th Emmy Awards, which will be held on September 12th.
Oh, I'll watch the recap. I'm not watching it.
No.
Yeah. Because there's just not enough in there for me to care about. Now, I understand Yellow Jackets is really good.
I've heard that.
I want to get to it. I've heard that if you like the first couple of seasons of Lost, that you should watch Yellow Jackets.
It's basically like Lost and Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
Which sounds good to me.
I will say I'm not near as mad at the Stranger Things nomination as I am for the Outstanding Reality Competition Series, where they nominated fucking Nailed It, which is the cake show where people make awful cakes.
That show is actually... it's not good.
Yeah.
So would you say the Emmys didn't nail it?
Correct.
They did not nail it. They did. You know, I wanted to be mad that Handmaid's Tale didn't get any nominations, and I remembered, fuck you, Handmaid's Tale. You still haven't come out yet with your next season.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. We're still waiting. Yeah, they didn't have anything.
Yeah, that would have been.
Nominated.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would have been last season, last Emmys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see.
What's coming out?
There's some cool stuff coming out this week. There's some stuff. Let me scroll down here because I wasn't doing my job. Okay, so coming out this week on 4K is Raging Bull, and this is a time to get it if you want it because a Criterion sale is going on right now, 50% off. Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, I hear it's really cute. Indiana Jones and a Temple of Doom 4K Steelbook.
Or you can just get the box set on Amazon right now.
Exactly. Batwoman third and final season is out, and then the Beatles Get Back.
Speaking of Blu-ray.
Yes. Speaking of Blu-ray. Yes.
I know you tried to get it.
I tried to get what?
I know you tried to get it.
I did try to get it. I tried.
Martyrs is getting a Blu-ray release.
Yeah, we watched in our 12 Hours of Terror the movie Martyrs.
That's the
But
French
it's like
one, right?
Australian, right?
It is French. It
Yeah.
was an Australian Blu-ray
Release.
release.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All region. But they had this nice limited edition.
With a book and a poster and a hard box. Really totally up my alley.
Okay. Tina,
Yeah.
would you like to guess how many they were selling of this limited edition?
12.
No.
Might as well have been.
Might as well. 250. That's it.
That's it. And you know, they didn't actually mark it out of stock. They just stopped taking payments. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't get my payment to go through.
Like I tagged you and I'm like, dude.
Yeah. And it was gone. But they're coming out with a standard edition. It's Umbrella Entertainment, which is a really good company. I don't know why they only did 200 of these, but
250? It's like, dude, I would expect 2,500.
that said, if you want to be fully disturbed, and ruin your night and possibly your month, they are putting out a standard release that's going to be all region.
Absolutely recommend that film. It'll ruin your day.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember we were really grotesquely enjoying that film.
Yeah,
It's a good movie though.
Ah!
Wasn't that
yeah,
one that Nico, you got mad at the end? Did you get mad at it?
I think I don't know.
No, that was Funny Games.
That was Funny Games.
Oh yeah.
No, I think the one you guys got the most mad at the end was Eden Lake.
That I got
Oh
mad at.
Yeah.
I got mad at that.
Yeah,
I
fuck
did get
Eden
mad
Lake.
at Lake.
No, that's a great movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a fantastic
It made me so
movie.
mad.
Fuck Eden Lake.
I think Funny Games. I think I got more mad at Funny Games.
Yeah, Funny Games I got more mad at because it blindsided you with its
With like four ball
twist.
breaking and
With its twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
oh man, that was so.
All right, you got a comic book rec for us?
Again, I'm pretty much reading all my books on Marvel Unlimited. So you could just pay for $10 a month and get so many sweet Marvel books. They're just about 3 months behind. So I was just now reading Immortal X-Men #1, which is Kieran Gillen's first title in the post Jonathan Hickman X-verse, the Hoxpox, House of X, Powers of X, everyone living on Krakoa era of X-Men that we're still in, is really cool. It's told entirely from Mr. Sinister's point of view, which is hilariously evil and sinister. It's great. I love it.
All right, cool. All right, let's bring this thing to an end. We've been going for a minute.
Yeah.
Nico, where do we find you on the internet?
Find me on Twitter and Instagram under Nico Scream and Letterboxd too under Nico Scream. Twitter asking random D&D questions. Instagram posting frogs that are popping up on my steps outside.
Tina?
You can find me on most major social medias under Cheddar Popper. That is CHEDRPOPPR. And as always, look for the giant furball, the.shadow.pupper on both Instagram and the TikTokins.
Zaggy boy?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm Master of the Matrix 91. You can also find me on Discord as well as Steam as a dangerous mute lunatic. I haven't had time to play any games. Why am I plugging this?
Yeah, because we're busy. We're doing a lot of editing.
Yeah.
So find me on...
You can also find me sobering up here.
Yeah, sobering up here at
Steven's
Casa de Lackey. Yeah. So find me on most things as Culturesmash. Letterboxd is a really good spot. You'll find me adjusting my Thor Love and Thunder review because I forgot to do it. Off the Shelf Movie Night on YouTube and OTS Movies on TikTok. Where today, while I was doing a shoot, my TikTok was turned on my phone and accidentally posted a story from my pocket. Which
no.
Yeah, I had to delete. I'm like, why is there a story from the inside of my pocket?
Oh no.
I love the studio tour that you gave though.
Yeah, I actually got asked to do a room tour, so I did a studio tour of the space.
I finally downloaded TikTok and I have only opened it like once. And
He hasn't found the super heavy D&D talk.
no, it's not that.
There's a lot of D&D talk.
I think what was that just happened? What's the plus logo do?
that has you follow people.
I don't
Welcome
wanna
to
follow.
TikTok,
How
baby.
do I unfollow? I need to figure that out.
Hell
You just
no.
click it again.
Hell no.
All right, we'll see everybody next week.
All right, bye everybody. I'm old.
Bye,
Get off my
Jose.